Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the channel. You ever meet someone who's so effortlessly polished, you can't quite figure out why? They're not flashy, they're not named dropping, but something about the way they move through the world just feels different. It's not wealth, it's not status. It's a handful of ultra-subtle habits that whisper, "I've got class and I don't need to prove it." Today I'm sharing 7 subtle, almost sneaky, polite habits that instantly say, this person was raised or trained with real class. Let's go. Number 1, they use people's names correctly and respectfully. Here's a tiny thing that reveals a lot. How someone says your name, classy, people get it right. And not just technically, but socially, right? They don't immediately shorten it without permission. They don't play cutesy with it, and they definitely don't rebrand you on the spot, like it's a nickname contest. I once watched a male politician call his female colleague Jessie during a press conference, even though she introduced herself as Jessica. The energy instantly shifted. Suddenly, she sounded like his intern, not his equal. It was subtle but effective, and not in a good way. Using someone's full name as they gave it to you is a basic form of respect. It says, "I take you seriously. I see you as a peer, not a pet." This goes double in professional settings. Unless someone specifically says, "Please call me Mike." Calling Michael Mikey just feels diminishing, like you're pulling rank in a passive-aggressive way. The quietly classy don't play that game. They listen, they remember, they call you what you called yourself. And when in doubt, they ask. Number 2, they practice thoughtful courtesy without making it about themselves. So here's something I learned the awkward way. If you have to tell people how polite you are, you're probably not being as polite as you think. I once met a woman on a business conference who kept making little comments like, "I never forget to leave a tip for housekeeping," or, "Oh, I always greet every staff member by name. That's just how I was raised." It came off like she had an imaginary scoreboard going. At all times, truly polished, people don't keep receipts. They do thoughtful things quietly for the person receiving them, not for their own highlight reel. The moment you need applause for your courtesy, it stops being courtesy. It becomes a performance. Number 3, they follow through without being chased. You know what never fails to impress me? When someone says they'll do something and then they actually do it. No calendar invite, no second reminder, no frantic follow-up text with an awkward emoji, just done. Smooth, quiet like magic. And the funny part, it sounds so simple, but in the current age of chronic ghosting, and oops, totally meant to text you back, but got distracted by my cat's birthday. It feels almost revolutionary. Refined people don't leave you hanging. If they say, "I'll RSVP by Friday," you won't be refreshing your inbox on Sunday, wondering if they've ghosted your dinner plans. If they promise to send you that book recommendation, it arrives often with a thoughtful note or bonus suggestion. And if something does come up, they let you know, kindly, promptly, like a grown-up. Number 4, they don't correct their partner in public even when they remember it differently. This one, it's delicate, but once you notice it, you'll see it everywhere. 2 people are telling a story about a vacation, a dinner, some mildly chaotic family moment, and suddenly one of them says something the other doesn't quite remember, the same way, and then it starts. "That's not how it happened. No, it was your cousin who did that, not mine. You're thinking of the second trip. This was the one where we missed the train." And suddenly, we've gone from charming anecdote to a low-key history debate with spectators. Now listen, memory is weird. No 2 people remember anything exactly the same. But the quietly classy ones, they know when to just let it go. They don't interrupt their partner to win a point. They don't start correcting the details mid-story, like they're fact-checking in real time, even if they're right. Especially if they're right, because they understand that public correction, especially in long-term relationships, isn't about facts. It's about tone. It's about dynamics. It's about how it feels to be on the receiving end of actually in front of other people. I once heard a couple recounting how they met. He said it was at a concert. She softly smiled, didn't say anything, and told her version later to me, privately over dessert. It was actually at the cafe after the concert, but he always remembers it that way. I let him have it. It's sweet. That's grace. That's poise. That's choosing love over accuracy in the moment. Now, of course, if it's a serious issue or a repeated pattern that needs to be talked through, have that conversation later, privately, not over cocktails in front of your friends. Number 5, they speak about their partner with subtle respect, not showy intimacy. Watch how truly polished people refer to their significant other. Especially in public, there's a quiet intentionality in their tone, a balance between warmth and dignity. They don't call them babe every third sentence like they're auditioning for reality TV. They're not dropping private jokes no one else understands, and they certainly don't roll their eyes or downplay them with passive-aggressive little jabs like, ugh, she's hopeless with directions. No, they keep it elevated, personal, but never performative. Think of how Catherine refers to William. Always his full name, always respectful, even in light moments. There's affection there, of course, but it's layered with pride. Partnership, carefully chosen words. Because how you speak about someone says just as much as how you speak to them. And classy people understand that well. It's not about putting on a royal facade. It's about preserving intimacy by not performing it. Number 6, they never call attention to someone's mistake in the moment. Picture this. Someone walks into the wrong meeting or forgets to introduce you to a colleague or knocks over a water glass at a formal dinner. And what do the truly elegant people do? Nothing. And I mean that in the most graceful way possible. They don't gasp or widen their eyes or let out a theatrical, that turns a small mishap into a scene. They just glide right past it, smooth, calm, kind as if nothing happened, not because they didn't notice, but because they chose not to highlight it. And that right there is one of the most quietly powerful forms of refinement. Knowing when to protect someone from further embarrassment by simply not adding weight to it. Because when someone makes a mistake, however small, their body already knows. You can see it in the flicker of the eyes, the shift in posture, the flush in the cheeks. They feel it. What they don't need in that moment is your commentary. The classiest people understand that. They offer a soft landing instead of a spotlight. They'll casually change the subject, hand over a napkin discreetly, pick up the conversation where it left off without so much as a hiccup in tone. That's what this is about, protecting someone's dignity in the split second where it could go either way. It's not fake, it's merciful. Because in a world where people are quick to screenshot, snicker, or call out the tiniest missteps, discretion is a gift, and giving it to someone, even a stranger, is one of the most elegant things you can do. Number 7, they express gratitude in thoughtful, specific ways. Everyone says thank you. It's polite, it's expected. It's the default setting in any civilized interaction. But here's the thing, most people say it on autopilot thanks. Appreciate it, the X. Sometimes with an exclamation point. If they're feeling wild, polished people go further. Their gratitude has texture. It's not just reactive, it's reflective, personal, specific. It lingers. If you do something kind for them, they won't just say thank you in the moment and move on. They'll circle back, they'll mention something only you would know. The way you folded the napkins, the playlist you had on that one sentence, you said that stayed with them. They don't just appreciate the action, they acknowledge the intention behind it. And it doesn't have to be a grand production. Sometimes it's a short text the day after. Sometimes it's remembering to thank someone weeks later when you finally used their recommendation. Because real gratitude doesn't just say, I like that. It says, you matter, I noticed. You just need to mean your thank yous and say them like you do. So there you have it, 7 quiet, almost invisible habits that say more about you than any Chanel bag ever could. They just require intention, awareness, and a willingness to see politeness as a form of elegance, not obligation. Because real class, it doesn't yell, it doesn't flaunt, It simply walks into the room and everyone else straightens up a little. I'd love to know what's one subtle, quiet habit you've noticed in someone else that made you think that that's elegance. Drop it in the comments. I read everyone. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, stay classy, Eldor bags.